Welcome to the 1000 Club podcast, where we believe that behind every woman there's a tribe chanting, yes! We call our tribe the 1000 Club, and every other Thursday we invite you into our VIP section to chat, console, shoot the breeze, or inform. Find us everywhere, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. And remember to follow us on all socials at 1000 Club. Hey y'all, welcome to the 1000 podcast. We are so happy to have you all here today. This is a very special episode as we are going to talk about a bunch of different things. I see that Courtney got the same mug that I did from a mutual friend. Every other Thursday, as we said, we welcome y'all into our VIP section. And this Thursday, as I said, is special. We're going to talk really about Endsecure. So I know all of you all have had hopefully your cries and your times to mourn and grieve the end of Endsecure. And we are also then going to talk about the end of an era for us. But don't worry, we're not leaving. We are just evolving. And so really excited to be on this journey with you all. I think that, as I said prior to us starting this episode, this definitely parallels friendship. And our friendship, if you've been listening, you've heard us really talk through how life changes and, you know, you got to pivot with life. And so that is what I believe Endsecure did and what we are going to do also. So how y'all been? How y'all doing? Y'all cry? Did y'all cry? Have y'all grieved?
I did not grieve. I did cry though, and then I was thinking about it 3 days later and was crying again. So I felt like I definitely still need a little bit of time to process the fact that Endsecure is over. But I'm so grateful that we had the 5 seasons to reflect on. So yeah, it was rough.
I'm not a crier. I did get a little teary-eyed.
Right, basically.
I did get a little teary-eyed in the last episode. I mean, it will be missed. It will be missed, but all good things come to an end. So,
yeah. We know our resident crier cried for sure.
Yeah, and actually, I cried not even because the show was over. I actually cried because the last episode where Issa is helping Yvonne out of her dress, I cried because this show has chronicled another really strong friendship that I had. And you know, we're not at the place where Issa and Molly is. And so I cried because it was one of those things where it was like, that is what I always saw for my friendship. If you've ever had a friend, like you just never imagine those things without those milestones and things without that person. So that's really why I cried, more so just like, yeah, it was beautiful to see them make it there at the end, but it also just made me think like my day and those milestones might look different. So, yeah,
real thing too. Look, I think a lot of people have
the Endsecure, or hopefully not, but you know.
Yeah, I was saying, I think that that's a real thing that people feel like as you transition through friendships in life, like the people you thought were going to be there, like may not be there in the same capacity as you saw them. But I think that that's the beauty of growth in friendships, that you can still have people in your life, but then also new people can step in and their roles can change. And I think that was really good. That was really good. I did know that part of the show was unscripted, so I thought that after I found that out, then I cried again. So I was like, that was really like real. Like it wasn't even in the script.
So yeah, nice. He asked her to just to thank Issa Prentice, who's the showrunner. Asked her to thank Issa and just have that moment. And as we all know, they have grown their own friendship, um,
Mhm.
through this show. And so Issa Rae and Yvonne Orji have their own friendship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you said it is beautiful, but it's also ugly.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to go through the episode in sequence, but the part that I got teary-eyed on was at Molly's wedding, and just the fact that like she finally got what she wanted, right? Like she desired to get married so much. And I've seen friends in the same situation, and I've had the same feelings, like they finally got what they desired. And I felt like Molly was a real person and I knew her. Like I was like, girl, yes. Like I'm glad that you got what you wanted. You got the man of your dreams. But it was really sad that her mom was not there for that moment. And I just remember her just kind of, what she would talk about throughout the season, and just kind of the love that she wanted. I think she wanted to love like her parents, and then her parents' love didn't really seem to be what she thought it was. But I know how much family was important to her, and it was just, it was a little sad that her mom was not there for that moment. But it was just good to see her get what she really wanted. That was a good moment. So I got teary eyed on that part.
No.
what I did love about that, what gave me consolation, I guess, or comfort, is that while her mom wasn't there, um, her mom did have an opportunity to meet the man, and in
Mhm.
a way, it was kind of like, sometimes they say like parents hold on or people hold on because
Mhm.
they feel like there's still some unfinished business. And in a way, it was like, her mom was able to hold on long enough, to be able to know that not just because of the estate planning that they did, but also that Molly was in good hands because she had this
Mhm.
man who clearly like loved her so much that it was like I can go now because I know that she's
Mhm.
good,
Okay.
and so that part was really beautiful. The other place that I teared up on that I wasn't expecting to tear up on, but I have really loved Kelly this
Mhm.
series. And maybe because like, I don't know, probably because she is the big girl on the show, but I just really enjoyed seeing her find it on her own terms. I think in the journey that we go through with Issa and Molly, which as we all know is the real love story um, of Insecure, it's them like redefining in terms or like relearning, I guess, like love in different ways with different people and different scenarios, and ultimately finding it with the people that they found it with. But I feel like Kelly just dared to just be
Mhm.
like in her fullness, no matter how crazy it was when she was dating a guy that didn't speak English, you know what I mean? Like no matter how crazy it was, like she just dared to be her. She took chances over and over again. And I know they didn't go deep, but I'm sure some of those may have like hurt her feelings in different ways. But like it didn't stop her from taking the risk again. And finally she was able to find someone that they could meet. God knows how they met, because all we saw was laughs and giggles. Um
I love
but
that.
me too. But that's Kelly, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
she was able to do it and find someone who really just wanted to be with her, that made her expand and think about things that she thought that she never wanted either, so that you could tell that that pushed her to grow into an area,
Mhm.
to look for stability in her job, and then, ultimately become a mother. And that was, yeah, I didn't think I was gonna cry then, but that was like my happy cry. If we talk about cries and like tearing up
Mhm.
or whatever, that part was definitely my happy cry, even more so than Molly, surprisingly. Um,
Mhm.
I feel like
Mhm.
I'm with Molly, like I've been
Mhm.
defending Molly even when people was But people was not messing with Molly. I be here strong with her in her mess. Let her grow through her mess. Because we give Issa that grace, we should give Molly that same grace. But Kelly, that was really, it just made me feel good to see that on TV and it not be something about like he loves her in spite of her size.
Yeah.
I feel like the story that unfortunately is played over and over again with big girls on TV where like I gotta be insecure that I'm this weight and the man who loves me has to tell me that I'm enough even though I am this weight and I love that and he has to love me out of that insecurity. Like, yes, that is some big girl stories, but we winning out here. So like it was really good to see a show that I don't even know if they discussed it. Like it was just like Kelly could just be, right? Like she could just be, and it was nice to see a show that allowed a big girl to just be.
Yeah, Kelly definitely gave main character energy this season. I mean, I think she brought it all, like every season, but this season especially, she really shined. And I would love to see like a spinoff, like centered around Kelly, because she's just so interested. Like her character alone, they could really do a lot with.
Yeah, and Natasha Rothwell, when I watched the documentary, I learned that she is the only cast member that's been a cast member, a writer, and a director. She started off as a writer, and she was just reading Kelly, and she was doing it so well that they were like, "You're Kelly."
Yeah.
So that is really like cool how life can do that, and it's so interesting to see her speak outside of the show because you're like, I want you to just be Kelly all the time.
You're gonna see in the street, you be like, "That's Kelly." It's not
all the time.
Yeah, it was good. I also liked the part in the episode where and Christy kind of talked about it earlier, where Issa was just sitting back and Lawrence was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "There goes my girl," and it was like just like seeing your friend get everything that they wanted, and Molly having the conversation like, "Thank you for loving me through my growth and loving me as I am through every season," and I thought, that definitely obviously was a tearjerker for many reasons, but I thought that was so well put for friendships because I think sometimes, as you grow in friendships, you're afraid of your friend not, like you doing something and your friend not loving you, or you doing something and your friend being like, "Girl, you crazy, I can't fuck with you no more." You know what I'm saying? So like to be able to see that play out and to have them have that moment to say like, we've been through some shit and we've been there for each other and accepted and loved on each other. And even though we had an issue that kind of like jolted our friendship, we were still able to find each other and come back to the love story that is Molly and Issa of Endsecure. So I thought that I loved that part. That was a good part. Yeah.
Where do you all see some parallels in terms of this series and in your own friendships?
Oh wow.
I didn't know we were about to have I didn't know this question was coming. I need to have a second.
I mean, we're recapping,
with this particular season, I really connected with Tiffany because she moved to Denver and she was really feeling it, like really missing her friends and kind of having a difficult time adjusting to it. So I really connected with her on that. And I like that they centered the episode around birthdays because that is like a moment where, especially if you live in different places, that's typically a time where your friends would come together, right? And I liked how they showed, like, each birthday, you know, I like how they went out and they visited Tiffany, but it seems like Tiffany wasn't always able to make all of their birthdays, and even Issa and Molly weren't together on some of their birthdays. And so I think that that's real life. Like as you get older, as you know, you get more busy, or you have the kids, you get married, you're not always able to spend like that occasion together, like spend, you know, such a special time that people normally do come together. And so I really saw the connection there. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know that I really connected with any other character. However, I saw a post on social media where they had shared like the characters, their signs,
Hmm.
and they said that Issa was a Sagittarius, and I was
Mm.
like, that makes so much sense because because I feel like I was like, oh, I've been watching myself on the screen all these years,
Mm.
right? And so
You said that about
I
Issa Rae though too. I don't know if she's a Sagittarius, but you said that before, like you would want to hang out with Issa Rae as a
yeah,
person.
I mean, she seems like she's fine, and I want to hang out with anybody that seems like they fine, but but I feel like I don't know about this season, but I definitely after seeing that I was like, yeah, in the past I was a lot like Issa. Look, I don't even really know how I'm married because I was so freaking all over the place in relationships and so like inconsistent in relationships. Like a lot of guys, they would be like, "Yeah, I can't figure you out," or like, "I just don't know what you want." And so I was like, yeah, I really connected with that. And so um not, you know, in my current life, but in my past life, I was definitely Issa. Like that was definitely me. I was all over the place. I could definitely see a guy telling me exactly what's his name. His real name is Kendrick. What's his name on the show?
Nathan.
Nathan.
Nathan. Yes. What was her name for him? Her little pet
Nathan.
name.
Hmm?
No, she had like a little
Nathan.
pet name for him.
She did.
She did.
She did?
Oh, was it like I'm gonna have to look it up. But yeah,
Mm.
like a, a guy would have definitely told me what Nathan had told Issa. So yeah,
Wait,
I
I'm
don't think
trying
I
to find
really
the,
resonated with any other. Hmm?
I was trying to find the Zodiac post. Now I want to see it. I want to know.
Yeah, I saw it. None of them were Libra, so I just kept moving on. But I did see the Sagittarius, and I thought about you because I was like, yes, that definitely reminds me of Christy. Not even just with the relationships, but I also feel like just like the finding yourself and what you want to do, and kind of just like
Mm-hmm.
going through those motions, you know, of like
Mm-hmm.
stability versus like just following passion and what that means. And sometimes, you know, just like feeling like lost, I guess, but you know, not really, but just like
Mm-hmm.
I could totally um see some of that in terms of the Sagittarius.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the season that was probably very real. This season was really good, contrary to what I see social media, how they felt about the
Is it
season.
a length season?
Um, at least I should say at least the posts that and the people that I follow. Um,
Mm.
everyone liked the ending, how they wrapped it up, but but to me, I saw most people felt like this season was kind of boring.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm people.
yeah, so I really like this. I really enjoyed this season, but I also think I enjoyed this season because part of it feels like it's a season that I'm in my own life, so it's like I'm able to fill
Mm.
in some of those gaps. But I think the season that was hardest to watch was probably last season. Um, and I think it was hard because people were really hard on Molly,
Mm.
and like
Mm.
that, like you are able to kind of think about Issa and be like, oh, okay, this is the places where I've been. But I felt like people were hard on Molly, and it just felt um unequal, because it's like Issa was just as messy, and it seems like Molly was able to provide her with some grace, and people were able to provide Issa with some grace, even when she was messy and not being a great friend, and Molly going to lengths to try to support her and protect her and all those things. But people couldn't understand Molly finally breaking down. And I think that resonated with me because I feel like sometimes when you are the friend that people are like, oh, you have it together, as Molly presented herself to be in the beginning, when you finally do start to unravel and it's messy, it's like there's no room for you to be that, even though everyone else around you has been able to have their moment. You're not allowed to have your moment. Um, and so that I think was really hard because it just, yeah, I definitely took that personally. Um, and it just, yeah, it just reminded me of, why the strong friend often just doesn't unravel, you know? And I think that's what Molly was trying to do, but sometimes life throws something at you and it just happens. Like you can't even control it. Now I will say, after hitting me, there's no more friendship. And I really want to, Jesus, that was Jesus that helped them get past that. But, um, that, that was a hard season, for me to watch.
Mm.
I would say that one was parallel.
I think for me, I felt like I connected with Issa and Molly throughout different parts of the entire series. I think a lot of me connected with Issa. I feel like I was definitely connected with Issa a little bit more. I was like, damn, had me think about my own life, which is a part of the show, right? Throughout this last couple of episodes, they talk about how um, when you see your friends doing things, it kind of makes you kind of look at your own life and question or analyze or whatever. And I loved how, Christy, how you said earlier the, um, about just friends like getting together on certain days and like not being able to always be around each other. And I thought that I loved how they made that so positive because so many times I feel like, particularly for women in Black women friendships, like there's so much pressure, like, oh, if this person doesn't come to this, they're not your friend. Or like if you can't, like if these things don't happen, they're not your friend. Or even like if you can't see this person all the time, then your friendship is not as strong as as you think it is because of X, Y, and Z. And I think they did a great job of just saying like your friendships can be strong even if you're not around each other every day, and even if you can't make every event, even if I think they did a really good job. Hey, they did a really good job. um, they did a really good job of explaining that and also allowing that to just feel real and like and to see like the emotion behind it. Like, girl, I miss you. Like, damn, I ain't seen you in a minute. Like, I really want to see you, but understanding that friendships go through that. But I would also say I think I connected with Issa a lot when it was like choices, like making the choices that are best for you. I think even when Molly came up to her, was like, well, if Nathan wasn't there, what would you have said? And it was just like her going back and saying, like, it's okay for me to want this, and it's okay for me to go after this, and this choice, this decision that I'm gonna make is best for me, and whatever. And also towards the end, how Issa's her expectation from season 1 or 2 or whatever, season 2 or 3, I don't remember, when she wanted whatever she wanted with Lawrence kind of came together, but it just didn't look exactly what she thought it was going to look like, but it still happened. So that was a lot. But this season was, I thought this like kind of wrap up season, although there was like an episode or two where I was kind of like, I thought it was really, really, really well done. Like I really enjoyed it. It was very, yeah, it was good. It was good. I wish they would have like delved into Kelly and what's her face? Tiffany
Tiffany.
a little bit more. Like I felt like
That's why they didn't. You didn't remember the girl name.
I know.
I would like to have learned more about Tiffany because I feel like this whole series has been about her like having a career than choosing family, I guess.
What did she do? I don't even remember what her job was.
Art thing, remember?
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
like she was doing something.
She's like the Charlotte of Sex in the City. I just put the two together. Wow, that's crazy. That's really okay. Continue. I'm sorry. That was a moment for me.
Yeah, and I just kind of feel like it would have been nice, especially because they represent millennial women, to like talk about their choice in that through her character a little more. And it was just interesting because I personally felt like Kelly seemed like she was, I mean, Tiffany seemed like she was never happy.
Yeah.
And that is, that always bothered me a bit. And I know that she has depression, if I'm not mistaken. So I remember that season where she left. They had to find her on the whole
She had the postpartum depression, yeah.
Postpartum depression, yeah. But yeah, nothing ever seems. She always seems very surface to me, and that could be in. I mean, that could be just the personality that she's supposed to have, you know, where, you know, you have friends that, and I think we probably have seen that. We've seen that with Tiffany where, you know, you have friends that are surface and then below the surface is just a bunch of stuff that they don't want to show and then comes out, you know, spills over. But it would have been nice to see more of Tiffany because, as I said, no episode, even like her baby shower, like when she's planning, it just always seems like she's like robotic. That's like her character felt like that to me. And this season, I think it was good to see more of her vulnerable side. I just wish it had come a little sooner, but I understand the series was about Molly and Issa.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in them though.
How did you all feel about Issa and Lawrence being together at the end?
I think life is about choices.
Yes.
And I believe that she chose what made her happiest. And as Tiffany said, it don't gotta be right. It just don't have to make sense. It just gotta be right for you.
Yep.
And so that's how I feel. But I will say this. I think that when it's your person, it's your person. I do believe in that. And I think that taking a step back and considering that there were so many years in between for them both.
Can we just pause really quickly before you finish? I did not realize that there was that many years in between Issa and Lawrence from season 1. Like, it felt long, but it did not feel as long as it actually was.
Yeah. So even that. Yeah. Even in the so I think they were together like 4 or 5 years or something like that before all of the turmoil. But even in the last episode, like they went through, I think like 3 birthdays, right? Because I think the season starts with Issa celebrating her 32nd birthday. And I think when Molly gets married or something, I think Molly's birthday is like 33, then they're like 34 or something like that. So they're all pushing like 34, 35. My point is that there were years in between them getting to that point when Issa called him to see her office, and both of them needed to grow, right? Issa needed to grow into the person that could see life differently and still see it as she wanted it. And I think Lawrence also had to grow to really just
have a baby.
Go have a baby.
Which is real. Sometimes that shit's real life though. Like
it is because now right after he had the baby, do I think Issa and Lawrence were supposed to work? No, because I think his focus needs to be on figuring out how to be a father and co-parent. Period. And anybody else, I was kind of like, when people were saying, "Oh, he waited a whole year to say that he wanted her and missed her." It was like he was trying to parent, get a new job, like, you know what I mean? Like that took. He had a whole year that he needed to adjust. Like give him some grace too. And I think, at the end, after those years have passed, she was done with Nathan, when Nathan was done with her, and they came to the stars aligned again, and at this point they were both ready. They were both able to take that opportunity. Then I love it. I love it that way.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't her trying to make something work. It just did. And one of the things I remember, Christy, you saying about your now husband when you all were dating was like, it flowed. You know what I mean? Like, it flowed. It was fun, but you never really said like it was hard, even with distance, And that's the one thing that I hear constantly and consistently, that it should be easy. Marriage is not easy. Relationships are not easy. But in terms of just like the connection and it working, it should be easy. And at that moment, they could make it easy. That's my.
Yeah. I wasn't Team Lawrence.
I was Team Daniel.
We know. She was Team Daniel, and Daniel ain't been back on a show in about 8 years. I don't even know.
He had a lookalike.
They had
the nerve throwing a Daniel lookalike. I was like,
wasn't available.
They were like, that was Team Daniel. We'll give y'all this lookalike. Okay, be happy with that.
Okay, but y'all could bring back Dro. Y'all could bring Daniel lookalike. Right. But y'all couldn't bring Daniel, and Daniel was the main eye candy the whole show.
Daniel was,
but the lookalike was some eye candy too. Now,
oh yeah, no, he definitely was some eye candy. I was about to be like, "Where's his Instagram? Let me look his ass up." I was not necessarily. I was actually Team Nathan for the beginning of this season. I was. Okay, but hear me out.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, only because I think, I was Team Nathan because I felt like they were trying to grow, and I was like, oh, I want to see this work, because I think, even though they had their like little step backs and they kind of came together, was like, Issa made that choice at that moment that was right for her, and was like, she's gonna do it with Nathan again, and like, him coming around and being like, I always pull away, so I'm gonna lean into this. I wanted to see that grow. And then he said that shit in the car, and I was like, oh, hell no. Like, you need to take ownership of the fact that you were insecure at the party, and you were in your feelings, and you created this mess. Now, mind you, the shit between Issa and Lawrence wasn't necessarily messy, but I could see Nathan's discomfort.
It was toxic because it was clear that that was her person.
Yeah.
He didn't have to blame it on. He didn't have to call her toxic.
Right.
Because she was not toxic. It was a toxic situation for him.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But she was not toxic. That's where he messed it all up. If he had just said, I don't belong in your world, right. Like said, I'm not comfortable. There's clearly some things going on with you and old dude. I need to back up. All of that was a personal thing.
Right.
But you to then be like, you're all over the place still. You know what I mean? You're toxic. It's like, see, you still can't take, and that's why he had to come back and apologize. But there better have been enough money in that envelope for all the time wasted by Nathan. I was very disappointed in Mr. Nathan.
Yeah. So up until that point, I was like Team Nathan. I was like, yeah, I had the, wait, hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Don't move, okay? I'm coming.
Yeah, I guess I made that face about Nathan. I like Nathan as a
person. I have the Nathan Hive button from the I Don't Do Club's Endsecure recap. So I got the Nathan Hive. You can't see it. It's Nathan, then there's Issa, and then there's Lawrence. They ain't had no Molly though. They had Issa, Nathan, and Lawrence. But then after seeing you know, the connection. I was like, all right, I can see Lawrence fitting in. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna go with it. I had no choice, but I was gonna.
I don't know that I'm either team Nathan or Lawrence. I like Nathan. He just didn't seem to be for Issa. Like he was definitely giving me friend zone energy, and that's where he should have stayed. Um, Lawrence, in the beginning, I did really want Issa and Lawrence to like end up back with each other. I think I like their story. I like their love story. I like that they went through what they went through. They went their separate ways. They grew and they came back together. But they don't give me the feels. They don't give me like the oh. So I'm just like, oh, good for them. But it's not like, oh, so romantic. So I don't know that I'm team
Can we
either
talk?
one of
Wait,
them.
I was gonna say, can we talk about that scene between Dro and Molly and what's his name?
Torian.
Torian. Like when she was just like, yeah, we had that thing and we was doing this thing. He was like, okay.
Right. Okay.
That was
What they got to do
odd,
with
but
me?
that's really how it should be. You know what I mean?
That's a
Like
grown man
everybody,
right there.
like
Like
everybody you're
grown.
with has a past. So like you're gonna have to, especially it seems like with them that everybody operates in the same circle. Like they make LA seem so small.
Yeah.
But like, he was just like, okay, cool. Like I got her now, so what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love
You
that
know?
scene.
I even more than that scene, where I teared up was the closet scene because it was just like so beautiful. Number one, to like for them to be in a closet, as you know, is like
Mm-hmm.
symbolism for where you just store a lot of your skeletons
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
for them to be in there and for him to come into the closet with her and for her to be able to say like she's scared that if she shows him her true
Mm-hmm.
self, like he shows him her true self, like that he's gonna think she's messy, he's going to leave, he's gonna get tired of her. All the rhetoric that and negative self-talk that she has told herself through the men who have come before him who just weren't her
Mm-hmm.
men. But as women, that's sometimes what we do. We begin to justify why we are single because off of actions that really have nothing to do. I mean, yes, have to do with us, but also, there's other parties that are there. And so that scene really made me cry. Yeah, because that was just really beautiful for him to be like, I'm never getting tired of you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to get tired of you. Like, you're okay. And then, of course, they had sex in the closet with cheese puffs in their coats. Like, that was just like, that was just beautiful too, because it's like, I'm never going to get tired of you. He had her. He had her in her vulnerable moment. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So many gems in Insecure. So many gems, so many moments, so many things to look at. Yeah, it's good.
Well, all things must come to an end. And as we said at the top of this episode, as Insecure has ended an era, we are also ending Secure, which is really not really an ending. It's more like an invitation to a new beginning. The 1000 Club podcast for the past season and a half have brought you new episodes every other Thursday. But as we head into 2022, we decided to remix it and change it up a little bit, and really recommit ourselves to the podcast as we do our own friendship. And so rather than every other Thursday, we are going to come at you a little more sporadically. And we are going to really continue this discussion around the shows that we love and the culture that we really love, and talk about friendship through these things, talk about the things that are going on in our lives through these shows. And you'll get to hear, like, would Christy take Lawrence back? Which clearly you already know she wouldn't. Clearly you know she wouldn't.
No, I would.
Oh, you would?
You
Even though
would?
it gives you the feels?
Yeah, I told you I like their love story, but it doesn't give me the feels like, oh, it's just
Oh,
like,
I missed
good
the
for
fact that she said
you.
Oh,
I
I
like their
missed
love
that.
story.
Yeah, I thought you said, okay, okay,
I
okay.
mean, I'm not team either one. I'm glad, they worked out, but
Mhm.
I'm not
Nah,
crazy
nah, nah,
about
nah,
it.
you sound like you more like you like it, I love it kind of thing with Lauren.
Pretty much. Pretty
Basically,
much.
right.
If you like it, I love it. Okay.
Yeah, so we are going to do that as we honor our friendship and our lives and the evolution. Personally, we want to show you what that looks like through the podcast. So we're so excited to continue to bring you Life on 1000. You can continue to tune in, share our episodes, but look forward to our new format beginning at the end of January, right?
Yeah.
Is that I have it right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yes.
this month we are going to come to you and we are going to talk about the show Harlem. So if you have Amazon Prime, if you don't, you call somebody that does, so you can get the good old password. And we are going to talk about Harlem starring Megan Good and Tyler Lepley and that whole love story. Um, or if you consider that a love story, depends. Courtney's face saying she doesn't. Um, but yeah, we're going to talk about that, and I'm so excited, especially because I visit New York quite a bit. Harlem's a place I've been to a couple times, and we cannot forget the incomparable EGOT herself, Whoopi Goldberg, is on
Mm.
part of the show.
Yes.
Like, hello,
Yeah.
um, okay, greatness. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to talk about that with you ladies. I'm really excited to hear who you all are, crushing on, or who you all are feel like
Tyler.
follow embodies.
That's a good looking man. I ain't gonna
Yep.
lie.
Tyler
Sure
is a good
is.
looking man. I have to admit, this show made me like him more. He's always been good looking. However,
Oh,
if
I
you
loved him
have been
on
following Tyler, P
yes,
Valley,
what's that show? Yes, I loved him on there.
yeah, Diamond. But if you've been following Tyler since the Have and Have Nots as Benny, Tyler had to grow into a better character because Benny was dumb as bricks, okay? And it was really hard to get Benny out of my mind when I saw Diamond because Benny was dumb as bricks. Like that is the character he played. And so shout out to the growth for Tyler. He's not dumb as bricks, but he still can't solve a riddle. If you watch his Instagram on the
Tell her to watch this.
if you have 10 apples, Tyler. Okay. But no,
Oh,
if you see his girlfriend playing that prank on him, you'll understand.
oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, so that went over y'all's heads. See, I had to explain it. Y'all, this is why we
Yeah.
need y'all to watch and tune in, like and subscribe and comment because sometimes, it goes over people's heads and I'm talking to myself. So
Whatever.
so we are so excited. I'm really excited to do it.
Yes.
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 Yes. We are very excited to bring you a new face to the club, to the 1000 Facts. I can't even talk now.
Yes. Yes. And in addition, I also want to just throw this out there too. You all can look forward to actually becoming a part of our club. And so one thing that we are focused on this year is really bringing you in, not just through learning us through these great conversations that we have along with the guests that we have, but also we want to travel with you all. Okay. We want to get healthy and remain healthy with you all. And we want to share some of our most prized possessions, such as our beautiful alma maters and the whole HBCU community, and maybe some other things that we like to do with you all. So stay tuned to the page so you can remain abreast about where the 1000 Club is going next.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Yes.
Yeah. So, as Rashana said, you can catch us at the end of the month with some new episodes, some new content. a different and a new outlook on the podcast. But as always, you can always follow us on Instagram to stay abreast to everything that we're doing in the meantime and in between time at 1000 Cup Life on Instagram. You can also follow us on Facebook at 1000 Cup Life on Facebook. You can go back and watch our previous seasons on YouTube or listen to them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and wherever you get your listening in. And don't forget to like, subscribe, to follow, and to also drop us some comments in our inbox. Drop us some comments on our pictures, and let us know what shows you're loving, what you like about the shows, and how we can incorporate your feedback onto our podcast episodes. Do that. With that said, I hope everyone had a safe and fun New Year. This New Year was a little different, but I hope everyone enjoyed it. You guys had a great time. I hope everyone listening enjoyed their New Year, that you're staying safe from, Omarion out there, because he's out there swinging. He came out swinging. But 2022 is going to be a better year. We're going to claim that. We're going to put that out there. And y'all going to see more of us in 2022. Yes. Why are you like that? 2022.
That was peace. Peace.
Oh, girl. Bye.